Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows and welcome to today's video. Today is actually Saturday, January 7th. Yesterday was Friday the 6th, which was non-farm payrolls. And if you remember, right, we had that big, nice move to the upside. Right after the number came up, we rallied, came off. Then once cash opened, it was basically off to the races. And on yesterday's video, I had talked about, recognizing a trend day early, because you want to get in on a trend day as quickly as possible. So that's what I'm going to discuss about today. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and if you find you get some value out of this video, be sure to like the video and make a positive comment down below. So if you remember, right, non-farm payrolls came out, market shot up, cash opened, we started pulling back down towards our low of the day. We didn't quite get there. I believe our low at that time was made just before the number came out. But, we got down, sort of, I don't want to say tested it, but then we shot up from that low. Okay. Now, one of the ways that I like to use order flow to determine if we are experiencing a trend day is I like to look for delta divergences. Okay. Especially, delta divergences in the order flow. Now, when I'm looking at delta divergences, I'm really looking at them to occur during the cash open. But just really briefly, what is a delta divergence? Well, what you have is a divergence between delta in the bar and price. So take it a step further. If you're at a new high or equal high of the day, as you can see, we hit this high here. This was 754. 38.76 and a quarter. We have a negative delta, minus 10.88. Okay, so you're at your high of the day and you have negative delta, right? That is your order flow delta divergence. Now, with my software, we added an extra feature in there. You have to be closing down. Price action of the bar also has to be going down. So what that means is you have to have a new or equal high. You have to have negative delta, and the bar has to be a red bar, right? Because some people will qualify a divergence as, I don't know if there was one here, not yet, a new or equal high with negative delta, but they don't take into account the bar color, right? Like here, you got the negative delta and the new high. They'll say, well, this is a divergence. I've just found, in my many years of trading, that for me is fundamentally wrong, because if you're looking to get short off of a high, price action also has to be negative. Okay, so if you have my software, we have a setting for this actually. It's called the delta divergence, and it's just right up here near the top. If it's enabled, the software will draw a gold sort of box at the top. Obviously, there'll be a gold arrow. You could draw it fixed or until tested. I just like to keep it fixed. And so what I'm looking for are these bars that have the gold down triangle at the high of the day. Or if it was the low of the day, right, it would be, let's see, just give you an example of one as we're going lower. Let me see here. Okay, here, right? This is a delta divergence buy signal. Now, again, you could adjust the colors. Maybe you want it to be a bluish color, right? Blue is sort of the universal for buy signals, or green. But I just, delta divergence, I know that if it's coming in at a low, it's a buy signal. If it's coming in at a high, it's a sell signal. So I don't really need to have different colors per se. But what I'm looking for, okay, is I'm looking for a group of divergences within a relatively short period of time that are going to be failing. And what do I mean by failing is taken out. So we got one here at 943, right? I can see there's a gold at the top of the bar with the red down triangle. Obviously, it's negative delta. You have, the red candle down. It's a new high, so that's a delta divergence by my definition. We have another one here. First one 943, next one 957, then the next one at 1004. Okay, so all I do when I get three come in, as soon as I see the third one, mentally I'm thinking, okay, we're in a trend-driven market, because I've had three, which are normally bearish signals, right? When you have a delta divergence by itself, it's usually telling you that there's selling coming in. However, right? I've got this market is sort of rejecting that selling in a sense. What's happening is, right, we're making new highs. Yeah, some selling comes in, very quickly come out, take out those high. Some more selling comes in, very quickly take out that high, right? 1, 2, 3. This happened in basically from 9:43 to 10:04. So, about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, it's rejected basically 3 highs of the day. And by when I say rejected, what I mean is it's taken them out, meaning that these highs are not strong. So meaning to me, there's probably going to be higher highs coming in. Okay. And so I'm just drawing this line here, 38.93. I just put a buy stop up here at 3.25 because I've seen it enough when I get these groups of delta divergences within a short period of time. People say, well, how short? Well, I like an hour, right? During the normal session, I like to give it about an hour, 30 minutes, even better. But, I don't want to say over the course of the trading day, or 5 hours or 4 hours, within an hour. But again, it's not hard and fast rule that it's got to be an hour. If it came in at an hour and 1 minute, I'd still take it, right? Sometimes people like to be so precise. Well, Mike said 1 hour. This is coming in at 1 hour and 2 minutes. I can't take it. No, you can. Okay, so 38.90, 3.25 here, basically just right above this high is where you'd be looking to buy. And almost immediately comes right back up, 3.25, trades all the way up to 97. You get another divergence. Okay, it starts coming off again. Actually pulls back down to here. We got down to 86.25. Now remember, this you're trying to determine what type of trading day you're in, right? Is this a trend-driven day, which is basically a flow-driven day, meaning what a flow-driven day is, you have much longer time frame traders, right? If you follow market profile, volume profile, the other OTFs, right? The other time frame traders coming into the market, the ones that have the deep pockets that are going to hold. So I'm not getting long here at 3.25 with a simple 2-point stop, right? I know that if this is a trend day, there could be a lot more to this move. So even getting a bit of a pullback down to 6.25 isn't enough to really get me panicked over it. Now on the chart here, where was it here? 90. This high, where was it here? 93. Let's just draw the line here. 90. Well, I'll draw the line. This is 93 here, so 93.25. Just draw that line here. So 93.25 is basically my line in the sand. Okay, from 93.25, the rest of the trading day, because this is a trade I'm looking to hold because I'm already making this decision that we're in a flow-driven market, that this market can keep going up, right? The rest of the trading day. And so I'm not going to be spooked out by a little bit of pullback down to 86.25, even here 85. And then we go up and sort of pull back again down towards 6.5, and then keep going, because I'm looking for this move here. Oftentimes this move here is going to happen relatively sooner. In this case, it took some time. Didn't happen until 12:30 that you got that move. But again, I'm not when you're trying to, the best place to get into a trend is obviously as early as possible. The second best time is now. But so, would I have liked to got in earlier? Yeah, I would have, but you can only trade what the market is giving you. If it's telling you, hey, you know what, we're in the middle of a trend day. Now, again, this day we did have that big economic data that came out. So, market is a bit volatile. It's unfortunate it just came in, much higher than where it was earlier. So, that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at determining a trend day. Okay, now again, there's other tools that you can use. Some traders I know like to use things like initial balance. Let's throw initial balance on here real quick. I have the initial balance indicator from Ninjacators. I'll just add, the first hour of trading, just add it in here, show you what it looks like, here. Okay, so yeah, we're breaking out of the initial balance. We hit the first range extension here as well. So, all signs are there of a potential trend day. One of the other things I like to look at as well, obviously, there was a lot of bullish indicators that were just, everything was sort of flashing on Friday. Anchored VWAP, right? I'm not necessarily a huge fan of VWAP, but one of the VWAPs I will use is an anchored VWAP. I like to anchor it from important periods of time. And one of the places, well, there's a couple places, obviously the number, right, when it came out 7:30. I'm not really interested, this is 7:30 here, I'm not really interested in everything that happened before in terms of VWAP. I'm interested in what happens after the number. Okay, so, anchor it from there. Again, it's not really showing me, but you can adjust your anchored VWAP, right? It just, if you're sailing in a boat, right, you lift up anchor, you find somewhere else to go. The high after the number came out. But then more importantly, I like to look at what's happening during the cash session. Tongue twister there. And here's the cash. Okay, what do I got? I got a high and a low after the cash made. Okay, so we're starting to go up. So I'm going to anchor it from the low. Okay, and you can see it's holding that VWAP quite nicely, right? And it's making a nice move up. So you got initial balance. There's other things that you could look at. Obviously, you could add, you could add some profiles if you like, onto here. Let's add a profile on here, sort of a dynamic profile. NCAT, where am I here? Profile, well, it's profile box. Oh yeah, here, NCAT profile box. Let's add this really quick here. Okay, add a profile box. Again, if you wanted to add it from, obviously the low here, obviously we're trading out above. I like to use a profile box and just sort of, I'm always looking at, is there any sort of signs here in the market that is telling me, there's something more to this move here. Okay, draw it from the low up to this high. Okay, from the low of cash to this new high up here. I can see my value area high is here. We're sort of coming back into it. This value area high is up near the top of the bar of this profile actually, and it's kind of holding there, right? Again, if you're going to draw out, once you make a new high, draw it out, and you can see, as the nice thing about a flexible profile like this, if you're drawing it out, right, you could just make note of what point of control is doing. That's your first point of control when you hit this high here. Okay, then you come up here. We'll use this high here. Okay, where's point of control is coming in right here. Okay, point of control is coming in here. Okay, so as the day is expanding or more trading is taking place, you can see point of controls 1, 2, 3, obviously going higher over the course of the day. That's another sign of a market that is trending. Any of these signs, again, this day was non-farm payroll day, a lot of volatility. So you have all this earlier action. But if this is like a normal trading day that started here, you'd be looking for the same things. You'd be looking for, what's the market doing at the highs? Is it taking out divergences? Is, the VWAP, obviously you're going higher, curve is going to be up. That's simple. But, when it pulls back, is it pulling back to the VWAP, or is it just having very short dips to the anchored VWAP? Again, this is an anchored VWAP. It's not a VWAP for the day. I'm anchoring it from the low of the cash session. What's point of control, right? As I expand the profile up from the low of the cash session, what's it doing? Okay, and you can just see the profile. I mean, the snapshot basically over the course of the day. Here's your volume. Okay, still there, same level. Again, you still got that volume there. Now we're kitchen stream. You come up here. got that big distribution coming in. Now you're starting to form a double distribution in the volume. Okay, and you know that if you're forming another double distribution, that's what a trend day looks, right? You're looking for that double distribution form to be printing, in a sense, being made, and you can see it's just being made, and but by then you should already be convinced, once you're trading up in in the 90s, that this is a trend day. Okay, so again, these are some of the things I look for on a trend day. Ideally, you want to spot a trend day as early as possible. Honestly, I wish there was something in the order flow that really would have given me a much better sign in the order flow earlier, like when we're trading 50 or 60. But we had a lot of volatility on Friday. Okay, so but there was still more to the move to be had. Again, we got all the way up into the high 20s. But again, if you're buying it at 90s and you're selling it in the teens or even in the 20s, that's still a good trade. Okay, it's not about catching the move from down here at 40. Yeah, congratulations if you bought it there and then you sold it, above 3,900. That's a fantastic trade. Pat yourself on the back. But you just got to go with what the order flow is telling you sometimes. And unfortunately, we had that volatility that it took a while for something really solid to determine that the trend was happening. All right, everyone. So again, I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.